Ready? Good.
Please, just leave me be.
Looters. Guess they were hoping to find something of value in the orphanage after the plague broke out. Come, you go on ahead. I'll cover your back. There it is. Huh. Strange feeling to be back here after all those years. We should... Wait. What in blazes is that? What are you doing? Never mind. Sorry. Shagun's office should be on the first floor. Let's take a look around. Nothing's changed. Alright, here we are. And would you look at that? Stock lists, spendings, earnings. No, that doesn't help us. She did. If I remember one thing, then it's how obsessed that old cunt was with her lists. Everything needed to be documented. Every crust of bread, every single donation. So, if she really did sell children to the father over all those years, there must be reports. Just not here. Her hidden safes. That's a chance. Everybody down here has hidden safes. Even if the house was under the protection of the Relata, there would still be the occasional raids. Even I can remember at least half of a dozen of them. They just came in, made a ruckus, and took whatever they could get their hands on. Eventually, Shagun even let them in voluntarily. No. No, but I'm pretty sure that they're here in the orphanage. I say we split up. You check the kitchen, the cellar, and the storage room in the backyard. I'll take care of the rest. Hidden switches, false bottoms, the usual. You'll manage. So will I. Good luck. off, the souls afloat. Snip, 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 cut through the throat. The head rolls off, the souls afloat. Snip, 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 cut through the throat. The head rolls off, the souls afloat. Snip, 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 cut through the throat. The head rolls off, the souls afloat. Snip, 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 cut through the throat. The head rolls off, the souls afloat. Snip, 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 cut through the throat. The head rolls off, the souls afloat. Snip, 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 cut through the throat. The head rolls off, the souls afloat. off, the soul's afloat. Snip, snip, snip. Tharael? Yes, Tharael. Back then he still existed. Now he's gone. Now there's only Brother Wrath. He killed them all, you know. Lethal, Wilma, have all of them gone or dead. We couldn't enter the cold flesh. We screamed. We screamed as loud as we could, because it hurt so bad. But then, that would have made him angry, because then he couldn't concentrate anymore. But what else should we have done? It just hurt so bad. No matter how much of the blue juice he gave us, it always hurt so bad. Father. Yes, our father. We never saw his face, you know. She always wore this mask, this terrible, scary mask. Yes, he wanted to make us happy. That's what she always said, that she wanted to make us happy. At first I believed him, but then they took Letho. Letho, they just came in and took him into the room. I heard him scream. Hours and hours, and then suddenly silence. Silence for eternity. But I shouldn't talk so much. Too much talking makes the father angry. Just let me sleep, will you? Just sleep. What are you doing here? What happened? What? What are you talking about? I was dizzy, so I took a nap. Must have been the hunger. I didn't have a meal in 2 days. Seizure? What do you mean? What? But... why? What did I say? I see. It must have been this place. It brought back my memories. What do you want to hear? I have no idea what that was. Same as you. No, I don't. But it doesn't matter. We should focus on the task at hand. What about the safe? Did you find anything? Look, I just don't want to talk about it right now. Is that so hard to understand? Now tell me, what about the safe? The documents? Let me see. Can you believe it? That's a list of all the children who were sold. Name, age, price. She sold us like cattle. I don't know whether to cry or laugh. But it doesn't say anything about what the father did to us. Did you find anything else? Shit. Well, what did I expect? It was worth a try. Do you want to know something? Shagun... I didn't think she actually did it. When I first heard of her involvement in the matter, I always thought she was living proof that not everybody can be corrupted if you shove enough money up their ass. Seems I was wrong. Did I? Tell me, what is it to you? Why do you care? As if talking ever helps, but fine. You gave me little reason to distrust you, so why the fuck not? If we're unlucky, neither of us will be alive anymore 2 days from now. Come, let's find somewhere to sit. Sit. All right. Let's keep this brief. My family discarded me as a child, and no, I don't blame them. I was weak, frail, and always ill. It was unlikely that I would see 5 winters. I don't know. I've forgotten most of it. Nonsense. Keeping me would have burdened the entire family. What they did wasn't cruel. It was necessary. Cruelty is something else. Cruelty is inflicting suffering when it's avoidable, or simply for pleasure. Sadist scum like Carlian, lust murderers or mad cult leaders who stop at nothing to get their way. Not even the corpses of children. I am, thanks to Letho. It must have been 6 winters back then, whereas I was 4 or 5. I don't remember. He found me in the gutter and took me in. I'm not sure you realize what that means. Surviving alone is hard enough as it is for an urchin child. But taking care of someone else, it decreases your chances even more. Letho didn't care. He saw me, he let me sleep in a pile of hay he called his bed, and shared his bread with me. I still have no idea why he did it. In the sewers. It's full of robbers and thieves and other scum nowadays, but back then, there were lots of secret corners and tunnels for a child to hide in. The good old days. I don't know. They never wanted to talk about it. Not even later, in the orphanage. It did, but there were a limited number of beds. New beds only became available if an orphan reached the age of 12 and was sent back onto the streets. Or, of course, if one died. What they had was a list. You could have them put your name on there, and every time a new bed became free, the orphans would be called into the alley, and the list was read out aloud from top to bottom. Strange feeling, as you could imagine. When Letho was 8, and I was about 7, we both got lucky and got a bed. We spent 5 years there, and 1 moon before the abduction by the Relata, shortly before his 12th birthday, I swore to him that I'd come with him once they put him back on the streets. Now, I don't know if you can understand this, but the thought that he'd be out there while I slept in my bunk bed, I just couldn't accept it. What do you think? He called me an idiot. And rightly so. Because I was still the frail little kid I had been when my parents abandoned me, and that ugly cough that I had would still come back every time winter returned. Still, had push come to shove, I would have followed him. Nothing and no one could have stopped me. Peaceful. It sounds strange to say it after all that's happened, but if I'm being honest, the years in the refuge were the only truly peaceful time in my life. Of course, it wasn't a picnic. Food was scarce because the orphanage stayed afloat only through donations, and we had to work a lot. You know, clean, cook, tend to the garden. But still, we had a home. Or at least we thought we did. Back then, I didn't, but in retrospect, I should have. For example, there were those twin sisters. One morning we woke up and they were gone. Shagun wouldn't say a word about it, but we thought it was because they'd died and she was in mourning. Now I know better. Yes, me and Letho. I still remember that day as though it was yesterday. It had been an exhausting day and my cough had come back. Shagun put out the candles and we fell asleep. Then, all of a sudden, they were there, right in front of our beds. We screamed. We struggled. Tried to flee, but it didn't matter. Uncle Nalek was there to help the masked men to calm us. Shagun and the other adults, they just stood by and watched. Can you imagine? They just stood there and fucking watched. You know the rest of the story. They put sacks over our faces and threw us into a carriage, like cattle on their way to the slaughterhouse. Then, darkness. The next clear memory I have is awaking on a pile of bodies in the corpse pit. No. Of course I looked through that corpse pile as well as I could, but there was no one there. No one. It was real, you know? Letho and I were there for each other through it all, and he was my best friend, my brother, my family. Damn it, he was the only one I ever had. And now he's dead. His skeleton's probably rotting somewhere in the sewers, if the father's experiments left any of his body at all. I don't know if you can even remotely understand how much I hate this person. He is evil incarnate. It's that simple. What do you think I am? An idiot? Of course I looked for him. For weeks, months, fucking years. But nobody had seen him or even knew who I was talking about. For them, he was just another dead orphan in the caves. Backup. I don't believe in backup anymore. Just look around, will you? This thing we call our world. What is it if you take away the glitter? A ring? A fucking arena? They all just care about their own ends, and they are willing to do anything to see them through. Lie, steal, murder. And now? Now they're talking about the red madness, as if things hadn't always been the way they are now. Friendship is a privilege for the young and foolish. Letho always believed in the good in people. And look where it got him. Yeah, you'd know. What is it to you? Can it? If you ask me, there's nothing more superficial than love. Well, okay, let me ask you this. Imagine a man with terrible burn scars on his face. What do you think? Would it be that man the women dream of when the bards sing of a knight in shining armor coming to their rescue? Exactly. The love you're talking about. It's a simple equation. If you're attractive, rich, or powerful, you might get to enjoy it. If not, have fun. That's one of the few teachings of the Relas I actually agree with. That was by far the most stupid thing you've said tonight. Yes, I have put a lot of thought into these things. That doesn't mean I don't stand by my opinion. Quite the contrary. Like a brother. That's different. No. Just one of the most banal feelings we're capable of. It doesn't? Then fate has a bad sense of humor. Broke me. Trust me, I'm quite intact. If anything, it opened my eyes. You know, being on my own, as you put it, it doesn't bother me. Not at all. I know how it must sound to you. But if you're alone, you're invincible. The worst anybody can do to you is kill you. And since death is the end of all feeling, it doesn't matter anymore. Friends, family, love, they leave you open, exposed. For me, things are simple. If the father kills me, I have failed. But at least there'll be no one to mourn my loss. No widow, no children, no friends. A clean cut, as though I never existed. I'll see when we get there. There is no other person like Letho. And even if there were, I'd keep my distance. The time for these kinds of things has gone. Either way, we've wasted enough time. As I said, it might be hours before the father decides, or if we're unlucky, weeks or months. I'll send out a messenger if I learn something, and should anything unusual happen, just meet me at my hideout. I'll be there for an hour every day before nightfall. Until then, do that.
Move along.
You're not from here, are you? I heard you talk.
We're watching you.
Oh, look at that! A sunchild graces me with... Oh, all things lost and found again. Depends on what you're looking for. Madame.
He'll come.
Madame.
He has to.
Pity. He was a good man.
Well, well. The venerable Sunchild graces us with its presence.
Hello.
To call the people worse off than
A penny, madame. Please, just one penny.
Can I help you?
Malphas's blessings.
Walk blessed, madame.
Greetings.
Hey! You're an adventurer, aren't you? Have you been to...
Dawn is coming. Seek the first seer.
Walk blessed.
Is it important?
Lord will redeem you for your kindness.
Bloody flesh maggots.
The light fades away at the end of the day.
Potatoes gone.
Dum-dum.
Interesting.
Be it?
I was just thinking about you. Ah, never mind. What is it? What?
Fool needs to pay up.
Just where did I put it?
It is. Why? Well, actually, it's simple. Everybody who lives down here and earns money has to give a part of that to the Relator every month and get protection in return. This applies to everybody, from beggar to crime lord. That's an exception. You mean when it comes to killing cocky bandits and vampires? Quite powerful. I don't think you find more skilled sinistropes or assassins anywhere else. Of course, in a fair duel with a keeper, most voices would probably end up in the dirt. But that's not how people fight down here. On the contrary, the Order is quite happy with the way things are going down here. They take care on the shiny surface, and the Relator take care of the stinking caves below.
Yeah, as if.
That's a bloody stupid question.
I really need that new license.
Okay, let's assume for a moment that we don't intervene and kill the father on the expedition. There are 3 possible scenarios to how this visit to the room of paintings would go down. Number 1,
That should be it.
it goes wrong and he and whoever follows him inside all die. This is the only case where you're right. Number 2, he succeeds and actually manages to separate his mind from his body. Then we'd have a spectral murderer floating through the world possessing powers we can't even begin to imagine. Number 3, the temple turns out to be a dead end and he returns to the Undercity. Then we might have missed the only chance to even get close enough to kill him. You get my point? It's too much of a risk to sit on our hands and hope scenario number 1 happens. Why? Fine. I can give you the essentials, but beyond that, I can't be bothered. Ask. Above all else, to leave your old life behind you. All contact is buried, all bridges burned. Most Walaim call themselves orphans even if they once had a family. In other words, if you conscribe yourself to the Relator, the Relas and his teachings are your new life, and the Walaim your new family. Everything you do, everything you think, everything you dream, is subject to the goal of achieving transcendence. Liberation from the human body. This and that. Most of the time I'm busy reminding the residents of the Undercity to pay their shadow tax, and to make them feel the consequences if they don't. Anything from a clout to the ear to a knife between the ribs. Alright, 2 things. First of all, I've killed no more than a handful of people for the Relator, and they weren't poor women with babes sucking at their teats, but scum, who knew the rules and thought they could play rebel. Believe me, it takes a lot for the Relator to order the death sentence for someone. They are criminals, yes, and they are led by a monster, but they are not stupid. If every misdemeanor were to be punished by decapitation, it wouldn't be long until there'd be a revolt in the Undercity. Secondly, nothing in life comes for free. If you think you can achieve something of relevance without compromising a part of yourself, then you're a fool. The death of the father could be worth 100 dead cutthroats, And I'd put arrows into each of their chests if it would get me any closer to my goal. Call it what you will. You can trust me on one thing, though. Killing these people, it didn't come easy. And some of the things that I did to not lose my cover will haunt me to the grave. But you know what? Sad as it is, the world needs people like me. All these do-gooders who think they could fight evil without getting their hands dirty are self-righteous idiots. The monsters of this world, the murderers, the tyrants. You need to speak their language if you want to be a threat to them. Everything else is a delusion. Since the Father founded it, 400 years ago. Correct. Nobody knows, but I would guess it had something to do with his experiments. All those children's corpses must have been good for something, don't you think?
Bloody flesh maggots. They are everywhere.
Called you? What do you mean? Did he send a messenger? Psionics. Figures. No, it wasn't your dream. It was an illusion. He must have planted it in your head while you were at the temple and simply triggered it last night. A mental puppet play, if you want to call it that. No idea. Probably some kind of passphrase. Well, go see him. You'll see what this is all about then, but I'm pretty sure he's considering you for the mission. And this is his last test. In other words, our plan has worked. Correct. And, thank you for filling me in on this.
House lies on the edge of a solitary cliff. Glow of death and pallid light illuminate a dark